back to my Papy's corner stick. Soon as I crossed that Buncombe County line, something in the air blew my podcast up high. It was a wisdom from the chicks in the city sticks, and I knew right then it was gonna be my fix. No need for white lightning to get my start. It's hey Lord, have mercy and bless your heart. WYRD, yeah, you know what I mean. It's not strange, take it from me. WYRD, come and listen to see weird mountain gals on the WYRD. Up on Weird Mountain, they done getting their kicks, jamming on the porch just to hit and mash, stirring up the pot, that's what they do best. They can dish it out till there ain't none left. WYRD, yeah, you know what I mean. No, it's not strange, you can take it from me. WYRD, come and listen to see weird mountain gals on the WYRD. Well, I finally found my Papy's corner stiff, filled up the jug and had to hit the trail. Gotta get back to the cottage in the Mashville woods, to the weird mountain gals neighborhood. WYRD, yeah, you know what I mean. It's not strange, you can take it from me. WYRD, come and listen to see weird mountain gals on the WYRD. It's them weird mountain gals on the WYRD. It's them weird mountain gals on the WYRD.
Do you consider yourself normal? Then this is not the show for you. Please go somewhere else. This is WYRD. If it's getting weird, it's got to be the Weird Mountain Gals Show. You're listening to Byron and Alicia, the Weird Mountain Gals.
So dang, Selby. What is
Hello.
that all about?
You know, it's a song. You asked me to do it, so that's how it came out.
Yeah, but I'm not used to people, especially guys, doing things that I ask them to do.
Right. Well, this time, you found a decent one that pulled through. It was funny. When I wrote that song, it was late at night, of course. It just seems like it's, 2 a.m. is the best time to write a song, apparently. And it doesn't matter if you have to get up at 6. So, but
That's when things start getting weird for sure.
Yeah, but that night I actually had twins, twin songs, except they didn't look alike. So they were, not identical twins, at least.
It was a supernova of creativity. So
it's weird that hardly ever happens. It's like back to back. It was like they're two totally different sounding awesome songs. So,
what's the other one?
It's called Through the Night. It's more of an upbeat kind of I don't know, kind of poppy song.
Cyndi Lauper did Through the Night or something like that back in the day, and Billy Joel did one called Billy Joel did Through the Long Night, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So I wanted to just thank you. It's a terrible earworm.
Yeah, it'll stick with you.
It will. It's awful, but it's great. But it's awful, but it's great.
Yeah. At least it's only 3 minutes long, or 2. It's not even 3 minutes. So,
yeah, I guess so. So, Selby, Byron just got back from Scotland.
Yeah.
I did not tell her your story because I couldn't remember all of it. But I remember that I was fairly impressed by it. So it was back in the day you had traveled to Scotland for work. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
You were not working in a graveyard, were you?
Well, I don't know. It depends. It's computer graveyard at times. Yeah. But no, I was there for a meeting. I was the manager of this global team that we all met up in Stirling, Scotland, which is a beautiful, gorgeous place. And it kind of reminded me of here, a little bit. It's a lot more gray there, though, of course. But yeah, we were staying in Stirling, and, that's where William Wallace was from. And there's the big William Wallace monument and all this cool thing. This cool, I don't know what you call a spire, maybe. Okay. Go up in. And they've got the sword in there, his big ass sword, stuff like that. But anyway, just after work, sightseeing. And this was after we had been out walking around the town, hanging out. We were walking through town. And we were staying at this old high school, or not high school. The top of it had an observatory on it. It's this big old building, had an observatory that would open up, and you could, had the big, huge telescope in there and stuff. But regardless of all that, earlier in the day, we were walking by the graveyard and noticed that there was a tour going on, and a bunch of people gathered around this small grave, and we were just kind of eavesdropping the free version of the tour till they chased us away. But they were talking about this little grave. It was a small grave because it was a child, and I don't know when this was, but back in the day, a long time ago, the child had died, and the next day or something like that, they'd found the grave was broken into. It was like a vault, kind of concrete vault grave in the ground, I think. Ew. Okay. And now and it's still broken today. You can, and they never fixed it. But they say that the ghost of the child, haunts the graveyard. So with that on our minds, we went on our merry way. Later on, afterwards, we were walking back in that general direction. We were like, hey, let's just go by the graveyard. It's the middle of the night. It's like 11, 12 o'clock at night. We were like, yeah, let's just go to the graveyard and see if we can get spooked, And this graveyard was unbelievable. I mean, you think some of our gravestones are like in New Orleans or something, or fancy. I mean, these things were like, Celtic crosses and handmade and 3,000 years ago or whatever. I don't know.
Actually, William Wallace, he's the guy that Braveheart guy they made the movie out of. William Wallace died in 1305.
I'm not far off then. But that was a long time ago. So we were walking up to the graveyard. So there's this back road that goes behind the castle, and back in the day they used to use that road for the dignitaries and people, so they didn't have to go through town and be spit on or whatever,
and be around the common folk.
So we were walking up this back road, and it's just this dirt road. It's kind of a trail now, I guess, and getting up close to the graveyard, it was me and about 5 other guys, and from all over the world, from South Africa to, here and there and everywhere. A couple local guys too. As I got close, the guys were kind of in front of me. I was kind of behind, and this was like a hill going up. And as I was walking, the trail kind of cut into the hill, on the right is the hill. And as I hit this one spot and had this feeling come over me, as I had to instantly stop and had these chills all over me. And they wouldn't go away. They just kept there. Just kept refreshing themselves. So I told her, and then I stepped a few steps forward, and it went away. And I stepped back, and it happened again. So I yelled at the guys and said, y'all got to come here and stand on this spot. They thought I was crazy, but there's something going on here. So they stood on the spot. They were like, maybe, I don't know.
And did it happen to any of them?
Not really. They said they had, at that point, it's in your brain,
Yeah.
But
they had expectations.
As I walked on up the trail a little bit, the hill on the right was actually the graveyard. And there was like bodies, like, pretty much, it was like a 6-foot hill. So there was bodies to my right, or bones, I guess, or if anything. Anyway, there was that feeling hit me. Okay. So we kept on going on up, hit the back side of the graveyard, came in from the back side of it. And, we were like, all right, let's kind of fan out the ground. But as we stepped out of the woods into the graveyard field, these big, huge bats start swarming us, like flying down, getting close to our head. And we kind of freaked out and run around a little bit. They kind of let up. So we started looking around and noticed there was this marker that was real close to us, and a plaque kind of thing. And it said, I was told about the things about the graveyard and that winged spirits guard this graveyard. And and it had a picture of a bat on it.
They do, evidently. Tell me again where it was at.
It was Sterling Graveyard behind the castle. Anyway, so that happened, and we were walking around. I was walking by myself, checking out different things, and cool gravestones and stuff, and saw this rabbit. And this rabbit didn't move, and I got a little bit closer and a little bit closer. I was like, what? And then it just would hop a couple of times when I got too close. And then it'd hop a couple more times. So it was like leading me, like Alice in Wonderland or some crap.
Okay.
And so followed the rabbit, and it got to this one point, and then it just took off flying. I didn't see it. And right there in front of me was that grave of that was broken. I had that the kid's grave,
Oh,
and that feeling hit me again right there. I mean, it was like out of,
Wow.
And I also went back up and found where, I was walking beside that hill, and I found the grave, that was near there, and it was a woman. And just kind of felt a presence there too, and that's, I guess, the closest to a ghost that I've ever got to. I never really had much other encounters that I'd call too ghostly.
Well, but you've had paranormal experiences, because I've been with you when we've had.
For sure.
Yeah,
but I've never seen what I'd say I've seen a ghost, you know what I mean? Or a spirit or something. Never seen one. Now, a wind coming along, I guess that could be a spirit, you know what I mean? So
do you feel a presence is the question.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I mean, you're the guy
and I've only felt that a couple of times,
Yeah. Well,
so it's kind of cool, though. It kind of makes you think there's forces out there you're not seeing.
There are forces out there, I'm sure of that. But do you think that, well, first of all, let me ask you, did any of the other guys have a similar experience to yours, or they did?
Yeah, well, not as much as mine, but they did have the feeling of a presence kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
With the chills and stuff. But for me, like even today, I still feel chills when I talk about the story, because it just kind of puts me back there,
Yeah.
And someone had said, spirits somehow can travel with you, they're not bound to a location, they don't have to drive or walk somewhere, so they can be wherever they want to be,
I would agree with that based on what experiences I've had. And I've always wondered why any ghost would stick around in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a lot of ghost stories and they'll take place in the graveyard. And I've always questioned it.
Yeah.
I really have. But I am not saying that it couldn't happen. I'm just saying that there would have to be an interesting reason, if I was a spirit, for me to stick around my old decaying body in a graveyard, if I could freely roam the universe.
Right, exactly.
I think I'd roam the universe. But that doesn't mean that there are not bonds that keep them tied to the body, to the earth, or a situation down here or something like that. And I also believe that they can communicate. I think the spirits can communicate with us, and it's that
I mean, even through electrical stuff and everything else. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But now we're getting into ghost hunters, so
Well, not really, because we're not hunting for them.
No,
we don't hunt for them. They find us sometimes.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I really go back and I tell that story of the things that happened with me and you when we were camping that time down by the river. And yeah, there was no van, but it was down by the river, and it was just such an experience. It could not be explained. There's no way it could be a coincidence. I mean, there just is no way. And so I do believe that stuff happens. And, when it comes to Scotland, we have so many ancestors that are in our families that are probably Scottish at some point. That Scotland always feels interesting, and it's not really, it doesn't feel like home to me, but it's just always had an interesting kind of drawing feeling.
It was a cool feeling to be there, kind of, because we were the Clan Macmillan.
Macmillan, okay.
Yeah.
Is it MAC or MC?
I guess the old spelling may be MAC.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we're MC, MILLAN.
Okay.
No I in there. Yeah. So I had that kind of feeling, that connection there, and I love the mountains, and there's big ass salmon swimming in the streams. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
But I got to check out we had another break. Got to drive down, or took the train down to Edinburgh, and saw Zappa play Zappa. Zappa plays Zappa as Dweezil Zappa and some of the original Frank's band, and that place was packed. It was packed, sold out. People were getting into it. It was awesome. Be a bunch of Scottish people. And there was a really good band that played, and they're a real popular band. They just play in the streets of Stirling a lot. I think they're from that area, Caledonia. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I believe it's Caledonia is the name of the band. They're like a drumming band, but they come out with the old garb on with the big drums and stuff. It was really awesome.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of inspiring, had you, when you're writing, because I've watched you through the years, and you'll go and you'll just be a normal human guy, and then all of a sudden it's like, here's a new song, here's another one, with WYRD song, was that just an off the cuff thing, or was it something that had kind of been rolling around in your brain because I'd neck?
No, it was totally just like hit me, and
just hit you.
30 minutes later, it was done. Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I waited 30 minutes and there was another one. But
you're like a hen.
But the song's cool. I think it's a good kind of radio song, kind of like a podcast intro, radio intro kind of thing. As what I kind of had in my brain about it. So I wanted it to be kind of fun and upbeat and all of this, but just the song came out that way. I mean, just automatically. And it was real simple chord structure and stuff, but
it's an earworm. And
that's why it's earworm, probably, is the simpleness to it. But throwing in the horns and all of that was really fun.
Put in the piano, and y'all did a great job with it.
I tell you, when I gave it to Craig at his studio, he really took it to the next level. I mean, it was one song when I gave it to him, and it was like this really awesome song. How Craig does. When he adds something, it sparkles. It does, yeah. So it came out this like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what this song needed. It needed this Jerry Lee Lewis sounding piano, and when I sent it to him, I had envision in my brain that I wanted some Hammond organ. So I was like, make sure you lay some ham on it. So he
of ham.
He always wants to put a slice of ham on it. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it turned out great. And thank you so much.
Yeah, it was awesome working with Craig, doing the collab, and then going down there to kind of finalize it. I really wanted to, well, you know, I just wanted to see Craig. I hadn't seen him in a while, but we got together in the studio, and this was around New Year's, and finished it up. I cut some horn parts there, and yeah, and then went to see his band play on New Year's, so that was awesome.
No, I'm lucky. I know some very talented people. All right. If only I could have gotten that laugh.
That one?
That one. Do it again.
I can't do it again.
All right. See, I can put a big echo on it. I can make it boom and
yeah. That I'm going to spend the whole year kicking ass and taking names.
Well,
I ain't even going to take names. I'm just going to be kicking ass.
You don't need to take no name. You don't need no sticking names.
I'm done with names. I'm done with badges. I'm done with all of it.
That's right. I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, Lord.
The world is in for something.
Well, I had that it was a revelation. It was like the road to Damascus. It was like being hit with a flaming apple pie. And I just thought, well, 50 years ago, I was 17. That was a hell of a year. It was full of adventure and heartbreak and love and trauma and desire and fake cakes. No, that was 16. Anyway, so I'm going to make this year just as memorable as the year I turned 17.
That is a really good idea.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, I do. I'll be 59 coming up.
You are such a little baby. You ain't even hit 60 yet.
I think my 50s have been a great decade. I mean, yes, I'm getting older.
That's
my body shows it.
You almost died a couple of times. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
aside from that.
Maybe physically not the best decade, but I have enjoyed myself in my 50s. When I'm well enough to, that the 60s will be even better.
The 60s were good for me. I did not have a birthday party the year I turned 60 because I was like, I don't know about this. This feels like it could be a trauma just waiting to happen. But by golly, my 60s have been wonderful. Wonderful.
I think 60 will be a decade where I will feel like an imposter. Because I've always thought, oh, once you're 60, ooh, that's it. You know, you have to start looking like a little grandma and thinking that way and all that.
Well, but I mean, you'll see people like that. Like, I know I've told you all this before, but I remember talking to some woman who's had, a raft of problems and, life was whatever. And she had little gray helmet hair and little old glasses, and she's all wrinkled, and she was dressed in polyester, the kind of a stereotype of a grandma. And I said, oh, that just sounds awful. And I'm really sorry. She said, well, aging ain't for sissies. You just wait till you're my age. And I said, well, how old are you? And she was 5 years younger than I am.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Just got to be patient and loving and, work the processes, ma'am. I mean,
Yep.
geez.
I do see the difference between some of us, my old classmates on Facebook.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Some of them are just, slightly older versions of themselves. And then some of them have completely different personalities.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's really interesting. And I think that my generation, we were weird anyway, because we went through we went from rock and roll to preppiness to disco, it was just a weird generation. And we were the generation that computers first started taking hold, just barely. We were right on the cusp of it. And I don't think there's any reason in the world for any of us to feel like we have to act a certain way or be a certain way because we're in our 60s. But I'll bet you there'll be quite a few of us that do. It's just a feeling that I have. I have seen some of my alumni lately. And although I adore them all, we've had a great time getting to know each other the second time around. I can definitely tell that some of us are older in our minds than others. And I'm going to feel like an imposter in my 60s because I always thought that 60 was a sober adult decade, you know. You're wise by the time you're 60. You're in charge and you know things. You know things.
Do. I mean, honestly, you do. You do. And you know more things now than you did when you turned 50.
That's true, hopefully.
And I've got a handful of really good friends, girlfriends who just turned 70. And that ain't no different.
No.
They dress the same. I mean, ain't none of us ever been in fashion plates, but, you know, they dress good. They look pretty.
Well, I do believe that age is a number, but I also believe, like your friend said, that getting old ain't for wimps.
No, because then and you've had health issues. You've had significant health issues in the past few years.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you get older, your body can't do with some of the stuff it used to be able to do with. Like you could just wear yourself down for 2 or 3 days and then, sleep late one day and drink a lot of coffee and you were fine. And that just, as you get older, that just don't work.
That doesn't. And you're right about that. And I have to quit treating myself like I'm still that age, that young age. I need to time myself. Like I don't have anybody who says, you must do this by this and this time. But in my mind, I have a schedule of things that I want to get accomplished. And the day I want to do it. You know, this might be a laundry day and this might be a floor day or et cetera, et cetera. I have to learn that it just straight up takes me longer now than it used to.
Yeah.
I can't whip through things.
The thing for me is that I'm not physically as strong as I used to be. I mean, I used to easily pick up 2 of those big yellow bags of composted cow manure. They weigh about 40 pounds apiece. I could grab one with one arm, one with the other, and carry them anywhere in my garden that they needed to go.
Wow.
And I cannot do that anymore. I'm doing good if I can take one.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. You're burly.
I'm stout, you know?
Yeah. I've never been that stout, and I've always had like little bird bones. And that just will break easily and stuff like that. So I have to be careful. And I have been for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm going to be one of those old people, though, because I'm already getting to this place where if I sleep wrong, and how do you sleep wrong? How the hell does that even happen?
No, I had the sciatica year before last. And
yes.
And now if I sleep in the wrong position for the whole night, I mean, usually my body I'll wake myself up and go, oh no, you can't sleep like this. What the hell? But if I fall asleep and I sleep in that wrong position, I wake up and it's like, oh, my sciatica's back again. Oh no, my sciatica.
Yeah.
So, you got to be careful about stuff like that.
Ew. Well, ever since COVID, or it could have been Lyme disease. I don't know. Or both of them.
You got them both.
Yeah. And but ever since that time, I have just terrible muscle cramps. I have restless legs. I have muscle cramps, and I even impinged my shoulder one time.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's just
Well, now, are you doing the pickle juice thing? That's one of those crazy folk remedies.
Pickle juice do it without throwing up.
I just
there
can't
you go. Like that. So, but I mean, at some point I will. Hey, tomorrow is my first day of morel hunting.
How exciting.
I'm really excited.
Are you
really
ecstatic?
I don't know if ecstatic. I'll be ecstatic when I find a bunch of yellows, I guess. No, I guess the blacks come up first around here. But yeah, I'll be that is when the word will apply, because it's been too long.
I'm putting magic through the air that you will find your first morels on my birthday.
Oh, yes. And if I do, and they're good and edible, I will clean them up and drop them off at your house.
And you can pick up your Christmas present.
And I'll drop off your Christmas present too.
Golly bum.
Yeah. So when are the Ides of March?
When are they?
Is it March 1st or is it March 5th?
15th.
15th.
It's the middle of the month. The Ides of March is the 15th.
Okay.
My daddy died on the Ides of March, but my daddy was not Julius Caesar.
No, I don't think so. Why am I trying to read something with my sunglasses?
I don't know. I broke my sunglasses out today for the first time, I think, this year, because I had to go down and pay the fuel bill for WYRD Mountain. And it was so sunny and warm. And I was like, oh, yes. Got the window rolled down, cranked up the tunes, put on my sunglasses. Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
It was great.
The whole town is going to celebrate this week.
I know. It's got to be 2 hands in the air.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, Miss Byron.
Oh, and that techno song is Pump Up the Jam.
Pump Up the Jam. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, no. You ruined me.
Uh-huh. I knew as soon as I thought of it, I'd go, oh, God. Wait, let me go back to Lady Gaga. No, let me go to... Somebody was asking, I think on Twitter the other day, what do you do when you've got a song stuck in your head and it won't go away? I said, for me, I sing a particular gospel song, and that drives the earworm out, and then I immediately forget it. And it's when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there.
Uh-huh. It's like an audio palate cleaner.
Yes, it's like sherbet for your brain. Yep. So if I get like, now Pump It Up is in my head, pump it up. And I would just sing, when the trumpets of the Lord shall sound and time shall be no more, when the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair, when the saints of earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. And then poof, everything's out of my brain.
And in the background, the whole time I was hearing Pump Up the Jam.
Oh, no, I got to do that again.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a crazy mashup, wouldn't it?
It would, yes, I was hearing.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll have to try to give that one a try in the band at some point.
When the roll is called up yonder and pump it up. Pump up the jam.
And pump up the jams. Well, that'd be more my idea of heaven anyway.
Oh, yeah. I love singing that song, though. And then
pretty voice.
My whole brain just all clears out. And then I'm like, oh.
Until the next earworm.
That's right. And then I take a nice deep breath and start whinging on some old gospel tune.
So I've been... I'm done with that Wednesday series.
Oh,
they
good.
Had 8 episodes, and I've watched it. I've watched the whole thing now, and already started on another thing. And
what you watching now?
It's called Disjointed.
You heard I haven't watched that yet. Is it good?
Hilarious.
Oh,
I guess it was only 3 seasons though, and which is a shame. Because I actually found it really funny. The star is Kathy Bates. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People often say I look like Kathy Bates.
Maybe. You have her attitude sometimes.
Well, I'm pudgy and I've got brown hair. I think that's all people see.
Well, maybe she has your attitude sometimes. So I think it's on Netflix. It's this gal this guy who owns what's it called? Somebody's medical cannabis alternative. Kate's Alternative Caring, and it's a cannabis dispensary. So the meta tags underneath this are like stoner comedy. So it's a little embarrassing, but it is funny to me. It's like, okay, I like a stoner comedy, whatever. But she's got some iconic employees. She's got a fella growing her weed for her store, and when he gets in there, he has a personal relationship with the plants. He's named them and he talks to them, and there are times when he gets really excited or really high, because that's one thing I noticed is that they are always getting high all the time in the store, which I don't think real dispensaries would do that, but I don't know. But when he gets super duper high, he starts talking in an Australian accent to him. He's like, "Hello, girls." No, it's not really highbrow humor, if you know what I mean. It's good for last thing in the evening before you go to bed when you need to rest your brain.
Yeah, that sounds good. We've been watching a lot of those police procedurals from Britain.
Oh,
so I swear at this point I could be a British police officer.
Maybe.
This is my warrant card. I think I even know what their Miranda rights, which are not called Miranda rights there, but I even know what the rights are.
Oh,
So I could read you your rights.
Wow. Mom watches a lot of that too, and she's not really into most of modern TV, which I can understand that.
Yeah, me too.
Most of it is crap, isn't it?
Yeah, I just watch stuff on. We got BritBox. I watch BritBox a lot in the evening, and we see some old stuff from 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
There was a show called Pie in the Sky about a guy who was a police officer on the edge of retirement, but what he really wanted to, and he was a chef, he really wanted to open a restaurant. So there's always like some drama at the restaurant and then some police activity, and he's having to run back and forth. It's good. We like it.
Yeah, it sounds good. Well, I've been watching more TV lately than I had in years, really, and I've enjoyed it. And I can tell right now that that's coming to an end, hopefully, as the season warms up. I mean, think about it. Tomorrow's my first day. Morel.
I'm so excited for you. That's a double reason to celebrate tomorrow.
It is. Well, I'm not swearing we're going to get any because it's super early and nobody's found any in Western North Carolina yet. But we'll have as good a chance as anybody.
And you're going to some of your special places?
Yeah, we're going to one of the few remaining places out there. And then we've got a new place to check next time, which will be sometime next week. So, but the problem is we've had wonderful weather for morels all week long and for other things that are, growing in the season. But Saturday night is supposed to get down to 32 degrees.
Yeah.
And Sunday night it's going to be in the upper 30s. Yeah. And that will kill the morels. They'll go right back underground. So that flush will be dead. So bye. See you. We may or may not get any more after that for the season. Usually we do not. We might get a few, but not many. So I'm really hoping I find a couple.
Well, and it may not get that cold, but it seems to me in digging through my ancient memory banks that if we have a mild February like we did this year, that we are generally really smacked in March.
At some point, we usually do get it. And I was wrong last week. We were talking, and I think we were talking about the snowstorm, and I told you it was April 4th. That wasn't the blizzard. The blizzard of 93 was in March.
Right. It was.
My mother corrected me on that.
That was significant.
It was.
I remember the floods and I remember the blizzards.
Yeah.
I don't remember the killing heat because that happens, as far as I'm concerned, every summer.
Yeah, it did. I remember the summer that West Asheville, that Haywood Road church, I guess it was the Methodist church, got hit by lightning.
Oh no, it was a Baptist church.
Was it
Ever after we have referred to that as the blasted Baptist church. Isn't that awful?
No, it's hilarious. But that was the summer that every single day in the afternoon we had a thunderstorm. And I remember thinking, is the world getting ready to end? What's going on? I was young.
God, well, I tell you, yesterday was weird because, y'all, we were recording this on Wednesday, but this was Tuesday. And I didn't have any work at the store. I didn't have any clients.
Wow.
I did 2 phone readings for people, but there were no there weren't a lot of people in the store at all. Then I left early and went to the bank, and Merriman Avenue was it was like a parking lot. There was nobody on it.
Wow.
And then I went in the bank, and the bank parking lot was full of cars, but I went in and there were 2 front tellers, and there was the woman at the window and people in there, and there was not a customer in there. And then I went from there. I tried to find coffee in North Asheville, and good luck with that, my friends, because there's not a place. I think the Penny Cup is up there, but I couldn't even figure out where to park for that. It wasn't the damn pizza place that used to be a gas station, or the Mexican restaurant that used to be whatever the hell that was. So I didn't even go in there. But there was just nobody out yesterday, and I guess because it was so beautiful, people just were. They were out in the world. They weren't out in their cars, and that's good.
Yeah, it is good. Maybe that is what happened. That'd be nice. I just wish that the traffic would go away in Asheville.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I know. Good luck on that. But
well, you said you were coming in to do this podcast, and the traffic was terrible. Were you coming up from Hendo?
I was, and I came down 191, and normally that's quicker route, but it was not a quicker route this time.
Is that Brevard Road? 191?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Sure is. It goes all the way up, and I guess now it joins and goes all the way into Brevard. It used to kind of go through Mills River and then come up through into Hendersonville. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
And I'm not sure what, I forget what that's even called now. I don't go by road names in Asheville and Hendersonville unless I have to.
Yeah, and that's why when you said 191, I had to think, is that Brevard Road? Because I mostly know things by their name and not by their number.
Yeah.
And then people will say, I'll say, well, take 240 and go east and take the Charlotte Street exit. And they'll go, now what number is that? And I go, I don't know. It's the Charlotte Street. Look for the word Charlotte and then the word street and take that.
And then exit.
I don't know those numbers. I remember the number, oddly enough, I remember the number of the exit off 26 that takes you to Mountain Home. And that used
30.
to be exit 13. It used to be 13, and now it's 44.
Yes. And
don't ask me why I remember. I remember because there's that little metaphysical store called Crystal Visions down there. Yep. Y'all. Hey, Crystal Vision. And it used to be, I thought it was so cute, a metaphysical store. You take exit 13.
Yes.
But then it switched over to 44. But I somehow remember both of those.
Exit 44 used to be the one that would put you out in West Asheville on Smoky Park Highway.
Oh, is it? Huh.
It used to be. And now that's some other number. I don't know what number it is.
It's crazy, isn't it, thinking about that? I pulled out of the Ingalls up beyond Lowe's off Patton Avenue. I was pulling out, a friend of mine called me and said, hey, where are you? And I said, I'm just leaving Ingalls, and I'm out in Inca Candler. Well, maybe I'm in West Asheville. I don't know where one of them ends and the other one begins. I'm pulling out of the Ingalls right now on Patton Avenue West near the Asheville School.
That's that's the one that I do. It's I'll just name something beside Hardee's, or something.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing, and I think everybody does it. Every little town in the world does it. They go, well, you know where Rose's used to be?
Yes. I can do that for this city. I can do that for Robbinsville. I can't do it for Hendersonville because I've only lived there about 25 years, I guess.
Oh, not long, just 25 years.
Yeah, certainly not long enough to call myself from there.
Where do you say you're from?
I usually say that I'm from Asheville.
Yeah.
Oh, no, actually, what I usually say is I'm from around here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always say Inca Candler. I'm from Inca Candler.
Inca Candler. Well, there you go. There you have it. Well, Miss Byron, I think I'm going to let you go.
All righty.
And
my rice is almost done.
Is it? Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to guess what this thing is that somebody brought in. I don't have a clue what it is. It looks like a volleyball.
Get over here and find out what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right. Hey, I'll talk to you very soon.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Have fun and have a great time Saturday night.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye. Hey, thank you for spending your time with us here at WYRD Mountain Gals. We sure do appreciate it. You know, I know time is the most important thing we have. So I promise that if you take your time to listen to us, we'll take our time to continue to be weird. Many thanks to Sunslice Records for all the help. We couldn't do it without you, Craig. Check out our social media for information, community, or a few laughs. WYRD Mountain Gals.